I would like to tell you a story about two legislators named Judy Boyles and Christy Zito. A few years back, they got a bill passed that strengthened the private property rights of the people in Idaho, HB 658. When it passed, they were so proud, and others who supported and helped were equally gleeful. Now, years later, myself and others have been arrested and are defending ourselves for insisting that we have a right to participate in public meetings on public property, including at the state capitol. You may ask, what law are the state attorneys using to prosecute us? Yes, you guessed it, Judy Boyles and Christy Zito's trespass bill. HB 658 was a rewrite of the Idaho trespass law and made it easier in many ways for the state prosecutors to trespass people on property controlled by the government. In 2009, it would have been an infraction. Now, because of HB 658, it is a misdemeanor with up to $1,000 in fines and 6 months in jail. Although I agree with the premise of HB 658 and regard Judy Boyles and Christy Zito as dear friends in liberty, my point is that the law is being used against the people rather than to protect them. You see, even when you think you win in the legislative session, the people rarely do. This is because the bureaucrats use the law to empower themselves, however they wish, even when it is completely against the intent or the Constitution. This is what happens when immoral people in government are allowed to use the law for their own desires. This is what will continue to happen if the people do not stop the bureaucrats from hurting innocent people with the law. This legislative session will only create more tools for the wicked to use against the people. Legislators can never phrase a law in such a way that socialist bureaucrats cannot use it against their enemies. This is why the founders declared that our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. John Adams. So the best we will do at this upcoming legislative session will be to educate and unite people to prepare themselves to defend against bureaucrats who will use the laws that are passed to further equip themselves with power. Historically speaking, this is not so unusual. Moral people have always had to unite in defense against immoral people in power. My name is Ammon Bundy, and I would like to thank you for listening. To join your neighbor in defending rights, text RIGHTS to 80123 or go to peoplesrights.org.